Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at a business model that's really making waves in 2025. Print on demand,
Print on demand?
or as a lot of people know it, POD.
Yeah.
It's changing the way entrepreneurs and creatives are really bringing their ideas to life and making a business out of it.
Absolutely.
So imagine, if you could design your own t-shirts, mugs,
Yeah.
even books.
Hmm.
Sell them online without ever having to touch inventory or
Yeah.
deal with shipping. That's sort of the magic of POD. We're going to be referencing an in-depth guide from blogwidow.com,
Okay.
published February 15th. So let's uncover together what POD really is
Yeah.
and why it's causing such a buzz.
Well, I think, one of the things that is so exciting about print on demand is how it really levels the playing field. It gives anyone with a creative spark a real shot at building a business.
Yeah.
You don't need a ton of money up front
Right.
or a warehouse full of stuff.
So no more garage full of unsold merchandise horror stories.
Exactly.
That's a relief. But how does this system actually work?
It's really all about producing items only after a customer places an order.
Okay.
So it's like you have a virtual factory at your fingertips. You create a design, choose a product,
Right.
list it on your online store.
Yeah.
A customer sees your amazing design, clicks buy.
Okay.
And that's when the magic happens.
So I'm guessing that's where the print on demand
Yes.
part kicks in?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So a company, your POD partner, will handle everything, printing the design on the product, packaging it up, and shipping it directly to your customer. You don't have to lift a finger for the fulfillment process, which frees you up
Okay.
to really focus on the creative and marketing side of your business.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, the Blog Widow article kind of breaks this whole process down into 5 simple steps. They call it design, platform, listing, fulfillment, profit.
It does sound pretty straightforward.
Sounds pretty straightforward, but I'm sure there's more to it than meets the eye.
Well, the first step, design creation. That's where you let your imagination run wild. Come up with a catchy slogan, a
Right.
cool piece of artwork. You could even use a photo you love.
Yeah.
This is what will make your products unique.
So I could finally put my dog's face on a coffee mug.
Exactly.
I've been waiting for this moment. But seriously, once I have my design,
Yeah.
how do I actually get it onto a product?
So that's where platform setup comes in. You need to choose an online platform where you're going to sell your creations.
Okay.
Shopify, Etsy, or even your own website can work.
Oh.
Then you connect your chosen platform to a print-on-demand service. They'll be your printing and shipping partners.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get the picture here. So I create my design, I choose my platform, connect it with a POD partner. Then what? How do people actually find and buy my, amazing products?
That's the product listing stage. So this is where you showcase your designs on different products. T-shirts, mugs, foam cases, tote bags, whatever your POD partner offers.
Right.
Think about how to present your designs in a way that is eye-catching and appealing to your target audience.
So it's kind of like setting up an online storefront, but instead of like stocking shelves with physical products,
Yeah.
it's like these digital mock-ups of what I've designed.
Yeah. That's a great way to put it. And the beauty is you can experiment with different product types and designs without any upfront investment. You don't have to order 1,000 T-shirts and hope they sell.
That's nice. That low barrier to entry, I think, is what's attracting so many people to POD. But what are the other, kind of advantages that I should be aware of? The article mentioned a few that seemed really appealing.
Definitely. So no upfront investment is huge.
Yeah.
Especially for new entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
But on top of that, POD is incredibly scalable.
Yeah.
As your business grows, you can easily handle more orders without the headaches of warehousing or hiring a large team.
Yeah.
Your POD partner manages all the logistics, allowing you to focus on growing your brand.
So that takes a lot of the pressure off. But with traditional businesses, there's often this trade-off between, scalability and offering unique products. Is that the case with POD?
Not at all. In fact, customization is another major advantage of POD.
Okay.
You're not limited to mass-produced items. You can create truly unique products that resonate with your target audience. Think personalized gifts, limited edition designs, even products designed around specific communities or interests.
So it's not just about slapping a logo on a generic T-shirt. POD allows you to tap into, niche markets.
Absolutely.
Offer something truly special.
And it aligns perfectly with the growing trend of consumers seeking unique, personalized products that express their individuality. It's about moving away from mass-produced goods toward more bespoke experiences.
Okay, so I can see how this model can be a game changer for individual creators, but what about like established businesses? Does POD have anything to offer them?
Definitely. For existing businesses, POD can be a fantastic way to test new product ideas or branch out into new markets
Okay.
without the risks associated with traditional manufacturing.
Yeah.
So they can experiment with different designs, see what resonates with their audience, and then scale up accordingly.
That makes sense. So POD isn't just for startups
No.
or solopreneurs. It's really kind of a versatile model
Yeah.
that can benefit businesses of all shapes and sizes. But with so many POD platforms out there, how does a newcomer choose the right one?
You know, the article mentioned a bunch, like Printful, Printify, Spring, Redbubble, Guten, Zazzle.
Right.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It's true, there are a lot of options, and choosing the right one can feel daunting, but don't worry, we'll break it down for you.
Okay.
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll take a closer look at some of these key players in the POD space and what makes each one unique.
Great.
We'll help you figure out which platform might be the perfect fit for your needs and goals. Awesome. Can't wait. Okay, so we've covered kind of like the basics, the nuts and bolts of POD.
Right.
What it is, how it works, some of the key advantages.
Yeah.
Seems like a pretty sweet deal so far, but I'm curious about the bigger picture. What about the environmental impact?
Yeah.
Doesn't all this, on-demand production create more waste?
That's a really important question.
Yeah.
On the surface, POB seems inherently more sustainable than traditional manufacturing
Yeah.
because you're only producing what's actually ordered.
Right.
No more warehouses overflowing with unsold products destined for landfills.
Yeah.
But we need to dig a little deeper
Okay.
and consider the entire life cycle of a POD product,
Yeah.
from sourcing raw materials
Right.
to shipping and packaging.
Right.
Each step has its own environmental footprint.
So it's not as simple as just print on demand means less waste?
Right, it's more nuanced than that.
Okay.
There are a lot of factors to consider.
Yeah.
Some POD companies are taking proactive steps to minimize their environmental impact.
Oh.
They're using eco-friendly inks,
Yeah.
sourcing sustainable materials,
Uh-huh.
working with ethical suppliers, and optimizing their shipping routes to reduce emissions.
So it's not just about, like reducing waste. It's about,
right.
like consciously making choices throughout the entire production process.
Exactly. And this is where you, the consumer, have a role to play.
Uh-huh.
By choosing POD companies that prioritize sustainability,
Yeah.
you're supporting a more responsible approach to production.
Yeah.
It's about voting with your wallet and encouraging the industry to move in a greener direction.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like with any product these days, being a conscious consumer means doing a little research, supporting businesses that align with your values. What about the impact of POD on the fashion industry?
Yeah.
I know fast fashion is a huge contributor
Absolutely.
to a lot of environmental problems. Could POD be a potential solution?
It's a fascinating area to explore. Fast fashion thrives on churning out trendy, low-cost items at breakneck speed,
Yeah.
often with little regard for quality or sustainability. These cheap clothes are often discarded quickly, ending up in landfills.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle of consumption and waste.
Yeah. So how does POD fit into this equation?
Imagine a world where POD becomes the go-to model for clothing production.
Yeah.
Instead of buying cheap disposable items,
Yeah.
consumers could order custom-designed pieces that are made to last, choosing eco-friendly fabrics, and supporting independent designers who prioritize ethical practices.
Uh-huh.
It's a shift from mass production to personalized, sustainable fashion.
Okay. I can see how that would be a huge step in the right direction. But what about beyond, the fashion world? What other industries could POD potentially disrupt?
Well, book publishing is a prime example.
Okay.
The traditional publishing model can be very challenging for authors.
Right.
They need to secure an agent, pitch their manuscript to countless publishers,
Mm-hmm.
and if they're lucky enough to land a deal,
Yeah.
they often have limited creative control.
Yeah.
POD flips this model on its head.
So authors can kind of bypass the gatekeepers
Exactly.
and take control of their own publishing journey.
Yeah,
That's pretty empowering.
it is.
I mean, POD empowers authors to self-publish their books without having to jump through all those hoops. They have complete control
Yeah,
over their content, cover design, and pricing.
absolutely.
I mean, it's led to this huge surge in independent authors and this diversification of voices in the literary world,
Right.
which is great.
Yeah.
But I imagine self-publishing comes with its own set of challenges.
Of course.
I mean, like, do these self-published authors need to be savvy about marketing and promotion, things like that?
Absolutely. So, self-published authors need to be savvy about marketing and promotion to reach their target audience.
Okay.
It's not just about writing a great book. It's also about building a platform and connecting with readers.
Yeah.
But for many authors, the freedom and creative control offered by POD are well worth the extra effort.
So it's about reclaiming their power as storytellers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But besides empowering authors, does POD have any impact on how we consume content? Is it changing things there?
I think it also has the potential to revitalize niche interests and communities.
Yeah.
In the past, it was tough to find products that catered to specific hobbies or passions.
Yeah.
But now anyone can design and sell merchandise that celebrates their fandom or subculture.
So if I want a T-shirt with a quote from my favorite obscure sci-fi novel, POD makes that possible.
POD makes that possible. It gives people the power to express their unique identities and connect with others who share their passions. It's like creating a tangible representation of belonging, which is especially important in our increasingly digital world.
So it's about forging real-world connections through shared interests. That's powerful. But this makes me wonder about the potential of POD to personalize education. Could this model transform the way we learn?
It's an intriguing thought. Imagine, students being able to order custom-designed textbooks.
Yeah.
Tailored to their specific learning styles and interests.
Right.
No more one-size-fits-all textbooks that leave some students bored or overwhelmed.
So instead of trying to fit everybody into the same box, we could create learning materials that cater to individual needs.
Exactly.
And spark genuine excitement for learning.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
POD allows educators to create personalized learning materials that make education more accessible, engaging, and effective. It's like having a personal tutor in book form.
Wow. The implications of POD really do extend far beyond just selling T-shirts online.
Yeah.
It's a business model that's reshaping industries.
Absolutely.
Empowering individuals and fostering a sense of community.
It is.
But as amazing as all this sounds, I can't help but wonder, what does the future hold for POD?
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? It seems like POD is already making a huge impact. From empowering authors to potentially revolutionizing education. But what's next for this game-changing model? What does the future of POD look like?
Well, one thing is for sure, technology will continue to shape the POD landscape in really exciting ways.
Okay.
We're talking about advancements in design tools, faster printing processes, and even the integration of 3D printing into the mainstream POD ecosystem.
3D printing. So we could be printing not just T-shirts and mugs, but complex objects like jewelry or even miniature sculptures.
Exactly.
All on demand.
All on demand. The possibilities are mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And as artificial intelligence and machine learning advance, we can expect even smarter design tools that assist creators in bringing their visions to life.
Okay.
Imagine AI-powered tools that analyze trends, suggest color palettes, or even generate design variations based on your initial concept.
So even those of us who aren't, design gurus could create really cool, unique products.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. But what about the actual products themselves?
Yeah.
Will we see any major shifts there?
I think hyper-personalization will be a defining trend in the future of TOD.
Okay.
We've talked about customization, but hyper-personalization takes it to a whole new level. Think about receiving a T-shirt tailored to your exact measurements.
Oh, wow.
Or a mug featuring a photo of you enjoying your favorite drink on your birthday.
Wow, that's a level of personalization I haven't even considered.
It's like turning mass customization into an art form.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like taking it to the nth degree, but wouldn't that require a massive amount of data?
It certainly will. Hyper-personalization relies on sophisticated data analysis and production techniques.
Yeah.
But I believe consumers are becoming more comfortable sharing their data in exchange for truly personalized products and experiences.
Makes sense. It's all about creating a more intimate and personalized shopping experience. Speaking of which, I'm curious about the role of augmented reality and virtual reality in the future of POD. Will we be trying on virtual T-shirts before we buy them?
AR and VR have the potential to completely change how we discover, experience, and purchase POD products.
Okay.
Imagine trying on a virtual version of a t-shirt to see how it looks on your body, and experimenting with different colors and designs.
Right.
Or stepping into a virtual showroom.
Wow.
To browse through a vast catalog of POD products in a 3D environment.
It's like taking online shopping to a whole new dimension.
It is.
Sounds pretty amazing, but there's one thing that's been on my mind this whole time, and that is sustainability.
Yeah.
How will the POD industry evolve to meet the growing demand for eco-conscious practices?
Well, sustainability is no longer optional. It's essential. As consumers become more aware of the environmental impact of their choices, they'll demand sustainable options. POD companies will need to step up by adopting eco-friendly practices and materials throughout their supply chains. We can expect to see a greater emphasis on recycled and biodegradable materials, waste reduction through efficient production, and minimize carbon emissions through optimized shipping.
So it's not just about making sustainable products, it's about building a truly sustainable business model from the ground up.
Precisely. Sustainability is both an ethical imperative and a smart business strategy. Consumers are willing to pay a premium for products that align with their values.
It sounds like the future of POD is all about finding that balance, offering, personalized products while still prioritizing the health of our planet. Are there any other trends on the horizon that you think will shape the industry?
I believe we'll see new business models emerge that blur the lines between traditional manufacturing and on-demand production.
Interesting.
Think about, hybrid approaches that combine the best of both worlds. Companies might maintain a small inventory of popular items while still offering customization and on-demand printing for unique requests.
So it's kind of about finding the sweet spot between, efficiency and personalization. What about the role of emerging technologies like blockchain and the metaverse? Will they have any impact on the POD world?
Without a doubt. Blockchain technology could be used to create a more transparent and secure supply chain for POD products, ensuring the authenticity of designs and materials. Imagine a digital fingerprint for each product, tracing its journey from creation to delivery.
That would be a game changer for building trust and transparency.
Absolutely.
And what about the metaverse? Will we be designing and buying POD products in virtual worlds?
I think it's inevitable. As the metaverse expands, we'll see virtual storefronts and marketplaces where users can design, browse, and purchase POD products within immersive digital environments. The possibilities for creativity and innovation are endless.
It's like stepping into a world where imagination has no limits. This has been a really insightful deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from the mechanics of POD to its potential to reshape industries.
Absolutely.
And even empower individuals.
Absolutely. It's been great.
It's pretty remarkable how this seemingly simple business model is having such a ripple effect.
It really is.
It's clear that POD is more than just a passing trend. It's a powerful force.
It is.
That's shaping the future of commerce.
Absolutely. Creativity
and even how we learn and interact with the world around us.
It is. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I'd like to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question. If POD gives individuals the power to create and sell anything, what impact will that have on traditional notions of brands and consumerism?
That's a great question. Something for all of us to think about.
Yeah.
And until next time, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.